like they'll say like black people will just dance, and then white people will dance for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then turn and look and laugh at somebody. Like, I can't believe I'm dancing right now.
It's like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah. Look at me dancing like a colored.
SexMonkeyDungeon with your host, Chris Barrett, and...
Oh, me.
And we have a special guest today.
Johnny Mocny.
All right, yeah. It's fucking sweaty as fuck up in this thing.
Yeah, it's warm in here.
Yeah. What about white people dancing?
No, I think it's... You were pitching an ingenious bit about how white people and black people are different.
Yes. No one's ever tackled this ground before.
Yeah, you guys ever notice like white people and black people do a couple things differently?
Have you ever noticed how they drive?
I had something about that. Yeah. I had something about that. I was like, not to get, discriminative or anything, but you ever notice all the bad drivers are mathematicians?
Goddamn. Actually, who's the...
That's over the line, Chris.
I was watching clips today as soon as I wake up, because that's like my normal routine. You wake up, lay in bed, watch like reels for an hour and a half before you do anything, right?
Yeah.
That's like a normal routine for everyone. Who's the fucking guy who did like $1 Million Extreme that everyone calls a racist?
Sam Hyde.
Sam Hyde, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I knew it so fast.
But like,
if you ask, hey, who's that racist guy? Chris has got him ready to go.
So I've heard he's like racist, but I'm like, God, I mean, like maybe that's just like people kind of just because he might do off-color jokes. And then I saw a clip of him today where he's on a podcast and someone asked him like, do you think cops should treat people of different ethnicities differently? He's like, absolutely. Yeah. He's like, okay, so like he goes, imagine you're a cop and you pull 4 black guys over at night. What are you gonna do? And he's like, what the fuck are you saying right now, man? I was like, shit, he might be racist.
Yeah, Sam Hyde, very funny. His TED Talk's incredible. He did like a fake TED Talk.
I don't think I've seen
and he sabotaged it. He is, by all accounts, a Holocaust denier.
Not even as like a bit, like he full is.
And I'm not slandering the guy. That's fine. I don't care. But like,
it's hard. He purposely masks everything with irony, so that like you never really know what his real opinion is. But the fact that the majority of his work is very right wing, it's like
irony will wreck you, dude. Yeah. Irony is like it's getting me.
Well, he's a weird guy because I know he just fucking did Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, and he like did a one-nighter there.
$60 tickets, two shows,
$60 tickets. Also, I left.
He's got a big following.
No, but the thing was, they didn't fucking advertise it.
Oh,
yeah. I only
it was like a dirty little secret.
Yeah, exactly. Like they didn't even want people to know, except like he only advertised it to his fans. Like if you were like Mark Ridley didn't make an event page for it or anything.
Wow.
Which is
Were there any local openers for that one? Let's dox them.
No,
I know, right, dude? I would do that.
He brings all his buddies with him on there.
Fuck him. I hate those people.
Nick Rochefort is actually really funny.
Come on, dude. There's so many local racist comics that are looking for an opportunity, and you're gonna take it away from them.
It'd be so funny because on the MCN, there's always like, hey, can anyone suggest queer comics or Middle Eastern comics? She's like, hey, can I get any racist comics?
Yeah, is there any straight white racist comics?
Guy goes in, just tags a bunch of
yeah,
Turco just tags all his worst enemies.
You just go, oh, actually, we're gonna head you over to our people who are banned off the
right.
All the people banned off the page. That's
none of them are in this group anymore.
They've all been kicked out because they've shared memes that have slurs.
Or like it'd be funny if somebody's like, not technically a racist, but he has a racist hour. He can work racist.
I can racist it up for you.
He's got 10 minutes of clean material and 1 hour of just racial slurs.
So, but you need to do racist. It's like I can add some slurs to my clean material. I can slur it up.
Be like, so me and my wife the other day, Jews. We were eating dinner and. I'm not going to say any of the other slurs because Jew's the only one you can kind of.
I do kind of want to live in that universe where you can slur up a clean set to get buzzed.
Oh, Spirit Airlines, I fucking hate flying that with all those Arabs,
The Hot Pockets. The only thing I want to put in the oven is. No.
That's a train we're not going to ride today. Oh boy. that's bad
Off
too.
to a great start, fellas.
Yeah.
I heard that Louis told me that actually YouTube has like an algorithm thing, and if you have to stay clean for like the first 7 minutes.
Oh, we're fucked.
Yeah.
we were.
Yeah, we
in
don't
trouble.
do good at all on YouTube.
We're never good at that.
I don't even post clips anymore on YouTube.
Let's just
honestly.
play like 3 Pink Floyd songs at the beginning and then start the podcast.
We get all the stoners to come in, and
Yeah.
then they're listening. They're like, "Whoa, this is all gay."
Then right after
Which is-
Comfortably
there's
Numb,
just-
we just
I
come
was gonna
in.
say comfortably numb.
There's nothing wrong with that either. Just saying, just putting it out there. I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to think it's
Gay?
wrong to
Like
be gay.
you play Money by Pink Floyd and be like, speaking of money, you know,
Yeah, you ever have anybody like pick on you and say you're a gay or something in school?
have I had that?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, especially like the time period we grew up, I don't even know if it was picking on. Sometimes that was just brotherly camaraderie being called
It really
gay.
depended because like
Yeah.
if my friends were calling me gay growing up, it was like fine. But I remember like one time there was like this girl who started calling me gay. I was living in Texas at the time, and we were just by the locker. She was like, "You're gay, Johnny. It's all right. You're gay." And I started like nervously laughing, and I was like, "But no, I'm not actually." Like,
Actually, I'll eat the fuck out of your pussy
like on the,
right
for the
now.
record.
Dude, I thought that was gonna lead that she was gaslighting you into being gay.
Yeah, it's like maybe I'm gay.
At the end of high school, you're just completely confused.
I did get a talk from my dad. The like, if you are gay, it's okay speech.
Oh, that's
huh?
never a good sign.
Yeah.
That's good. My dad told me if you're gay, you have to live somewhere else. That's what my dad told me at a younger age.
Did I
My
already-
dad had
Oh, sorry.
no, I was just sorry. He was just. I think he was drinking like a Jim Beam with one ice cube, and he was like, "John, sit down." He was
Sit
like,
down,
"You've been doing
buddy."
a lot of theater lately, and I just want you to know." I was just in the ensemble in Cinderella, and my dad was like, "We better cover our bases real quick."
Just gotta check.
It feels like your dad seems like such a central leftist. Like that's the most like, hey, if you are gay, it's fine. All right.
My
He
dad-
didn't say like great. He was like, it's okay.
My dad is a 2005 Republican, which makes him like a liberal now.
Yeah.
like he's a like a centrist Dem now.
know.
Which is
So
insane.
basically.
Which is insane.
It's so funny to me, like watching like.
Dick Cheney's a Dem now, dude.
Well, that's what happened to me. I went to Germany, so I was in Germany for that whole time, and I came back, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking liberal," and everybody's like, "No, you're actually a Nazi now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the hell? I didn't change anything. Like, what the hell?"
My
Yeah.
favorite thing I've noticed is like, I mean, I'm an idiot. I don't know anything that's happening in Ukraine. I don't really know anything, but it's just, it's so
Well,
funny.
let's go.
Yeah, no, it's so funny to me about, like, you always look at Republicans as war hawks.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I remember where there's a war and like everyone in the Democratic Party is like, we need to keep this war going. And the Republicans are like, let's end it. And I'm like, what happened?
This is backwards. I was watching the debate, and like I don't believe anything Trump says. I will vote for him for the bit. But
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah.
When because the irony ruined me. But
I'm voting for Dave Smith. That's what I'm voting for.
he didn't even get the nomination. Dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna write him in though.
Yeah, the Mises Caucus. But he, I remember like they were talking about Ukraine, and Trump actually had the right answer. He was like, "I want the war to end," and they were like, "You don't want Ukraine to win?" And he was like, "No, I just want the war to end." And I was like, "That's." I hate to say it, but he got that one.
W, dude. You
That's
heard
the
it. Johnny
problem.
said it. I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I
is
endorse Trump on this podcast.
when somebody says a bunch of things that you agree with,
Yeah.
and then they say the next thing, and you're like, "Oh God."
Well, the liberal warmonger now is an interesting because they use it a lot. Like I think like January 6th, they love that. They tried to make it into a 9/11 by like calling it the
Yeah,
date.
I mean, I like it more than 9/11.
Me
Personally.
too.
Like, I'm more of a fan.
Yeah, no, unambiguously.
Yeah.
It's both like cooler and funnier than 9/11. But then like I don't know. I feel like they're using it now, like what they were doing with brown people after 9/11. They're just doing with hillbillies now.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
know?
like it's cartoonish caricatures of hillbillies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, this is why we got to improve the security state.
They're all wearing buffalo heads.
It's like if you see a comedy flyer and it's all white dudes on there, immediately like one of the
you're like,
first
that's
posts,
going to be a good show.
No,
That's, what
they-
you're thinking. That's going to be a really good show.
there's always a comment that says, "Hey, January 6th reunion" on it. I'm like, all right.
Dude,
Cool.
real great go-to when somebody goes up and they're like, I did not storm the Capitol. I might be torpedoing somebody's bit that we know,
You
but
definitely probably are.
I've seen 2 or 3
multiple
people do that.
Yeah,
But it works.
I
It
know-
always goes well. If it's obvious that you look that way, it always goes well.
Well, I was thinking of Pete Sender, the big dog. We need to get him on here. But he does it. Actually, has a bit about why he did storm the Capitol.
That's awesome. That's
It's-
so funny.
It's a very good bit. I don't want to spoil
Well,
it.
that's
I'm not gonna
the
bit
thing that
someone,
upsets
but-
me about the whole January 6th thing is they did it for
that they
Trump.
failed.
Well, yeah, and that they failed, but they did it for Trump.
Right.
I'm like, you didn't do it for like liberty and fixing our financial system and getting corruption out of our
Yeah.
government. No, they're like, Trump didn't get he's the president. They're trying to steal it.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I'm pro storming the Capitol if it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Like that's when all the liberals
You
are
hear
like,
that, FBI? Sorry.
Well, guys, we are in 2024, so every good original thing that happens, the left gets a hold of it and makes their own liberal fucking remake. So we're
Yes.
about to have a liberal storm the Capitol.
That's gonna be awesome.
That'd be
And it's
so
not going to
sick.
be as good. It's going to forget the reason why it was good in the first place. Like,
I was
it's going to be
hoping,
about some woke agenda.
I was hoping Biden fans would storm the Capitol after they got him to drop out.
Yeah,
This is a
7
coup.
people storm the Capitol.
Just hardcore Biden, like only Biden people.
The only people I
Biden or
know
bust.
that support Biden are like people that were like super into Barack Obama, but then
Right.
get aged into their 40s and don't really keep up with politics. So there's like, he's the Democrat great. Of course he's great.
He's the
Like,
name that they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or I think there's people that secretly thought that, and I think that's a conspiracy too, that Obama was still running things.
Yeah.
But like from the, because I know like in the beginning when he got in, people were all like,
Damn, the
Oh,
country
it's
would rule
Barack
if Barack
Obama.
Obama was still running things. We should bring dictators back, right?
Yeah. It's always worked out.
Is that true?
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. All these dictators, we overthrow them, put in our governments, and then that place collapses. So
It hasn't worked historically. That is
No.
true.
yeah, we do a pretty bad job of. Well, I
Bringing
think
democracy.
that's probably the point of it is to destroy it. Like Venezuela was doing good, and didn't we do that
yeah.
too?
Yeah, we did that. That-
What
but
other ones? All of them?
We love to destroy countries
Libya?
and then tell them that they can't come here. It's like burning down a guy's house and then being like, "Oh, you can't stay on my couch."
You can't stay at my house. You fucking
We made that fire to keep you warm. It's not our fault it burned your whole house down.
Learn how to manage your fires a little bit more.
Jesus.
Fires are
Christ.
good. You just let it go out of control. That's not our problem.
I was gonna say that the way that like liberals will talk about awful things like January 6th, but they'll make it sound cooler by accident. Like they keep calling it the insurrection, and they'll say
Yeah.
it. They'll say that like derogatorily, but
I
I'm like,
know.
insurrection sounds sick.
It is. And
Why would you
I
call
got,
it-
as an autistic wrestling fan, I got hyped because there was a fucking WWF pay-per-view called Insurrection. So I always think about that, and I'm like, yeah, Insurrection was a
So
good
you
pay-per-view,
showed up.
dude.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
showed
that's
up
tight.
there because you thought it was wrestling.
Dude, all they have to do is they have to spell insurrection with an X. That's what they need to start doing. That'd be so tight.
All these fucking wrestling autists show up.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, DX.
Is the Undertaker here?
I'll storm the
Is the
Capitol
Undertaker here?
Dude, I will storm the Capitol for Degeneration X if they made a comeback. If
I hear
Shawn Michaels
Glass
and
Shatter,
Triple H should
yeah.
storm the Capitol.
if I hear Glass Shatter and Stone Cold comes out, I'm gonna fucking come in my
Yeah,
It's
pants.
funny that they're looking at the security footage later, trying to figure out who all the Rey Mysterios were. They're like, oh, it's gonna have trouble finding these guys.
It's gonna be difficult. Maybe we should build a wall. I don't know.
Fucking Rey Mysterio is badass, bro. Let's not get into wrestling, Drew. It'll be the rest of the podcast.
That's
Yeah.
true. Have you ever thought of doing an exclusive like wrestling only podcast?
I've actually been thinking about that like all the time. I was like, because they argue that like you should make content that you watch. And I was like, I'm like, I love comedy. Let's do comedy. And then I realized like all the content I watch is wrestling podcasts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably should do a wrestling podcast.
yeah,
Yeah, if we.
But here's
and
the
then
thing.
wrestle your guests at the end of every.
Yeah, just get a bunch of baby oil and just fight them. Be like, "Let's
and
see
they
what you
don't know.
got."
They think they just booked your podcast.
I get them in this garage, lock it. It's the only way out. I got the key. It's in my pants. You got to fight it for me.
I kind of want to just see you wrestle somebody. Like,
I'm not.
Period.
I can wrestle.
Pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just want to see you wrestle a dude, like because
Okay.
you're a little.
I'll tell you, I'm
Yeah, you know what
fantastic
you are.
at wrestling someone who has no wrestling skills. If you have wrestling
no.
skills, I'm fucked. But like, I picked up enough from wrestling that if you know nothing about wrestling, I can do a double leg takedown. So I could fuck up someone who knows nothing about wrestling.
So women, like you like to wrestle women?
Actually, I mean, I'm not proud of this, but I went through a period. I basically did an Andy Kaufman at my local bar in my early 20s. Where
you just
I
beat
said
women?
I could wrestle any woman here and beat her, and I would wrestle like a bunch of chicks. It was cool.
Did you always win?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was nice. And they would always try to go low blows by like grabbing me by the dick. So I just basically got copped to fail by a bunch of chicks. It was a good
just
time.
Just got hard.
Yeah.
You're like, that's my
Now the worst
this is my finisher coming up.
I'm not gonna lie. There was one time was embarrassing because I was wrestling this one girl and she tried to, and then she's like, "Where's your dick?" And I was like, this sucks in front of everybody. You said that.
Why would you do that?
No, I think she might have won that one.
Yeah, she emotionally won that one. She won the ego battle.
You ever heard of that director Yui Boll, the film director?
What did they do?
He's famous for making like terrible video game adaptations. Like he made like the House of the Devil or the House of the Dead movie.
Oh God, yes.
Like
okay, so I've seen that movie. I don't know him. But yes, that movie's awful.
So he famously, there's a little documentary. It's called Raging Bull. About this guy, and he invited critics, people that hated his movies, to like come box him. And, and then it's like all these nerds that write for like online publications are showing up like, I just don't really like his movies, and then it just cuts to Yui Bull knocking him out. Dude. And I was like,
I think House of the Dead is my favorite movie now. That's the coolest guy I've ever heard of.
I'm like, everybody on Letterboxd is too afraid to give that below 2.5 stars. So you're like, it's all right actually.
It was so okay.
Like, do you know what like House of the Dead was based on? Like, it was based off a video game, but did you ever play it? It's like an arcade game.
I never really played it. No.
It's an arcade game. It's like a light gun game. So it's like one of those games you play in the arcade with just a gun. There's no plot. It's just a guy walking around a city shooting zombies. So the fact that they made a movie out of it in the first place was insane.
Well, it's like that when they did that Need for Speed movie with Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
And like the game is just driving.
Yeah,
you can literally do anything.
I think it ruined the video game afterwards because after they made that movie, they're like, I think we need to put storylines in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like 2K now.
Dude, I don't want lore in my driving game. In my head, I'm deciding where I'm going.
If you played Need for Speed, couldn't you make an Asian driver? That's the question.
Just crash immediately.
Oh, here comes the racism.
Well, no. Have you ever played the South Park video game?
No.
They did I think the greatest.
You're talking about the one with the turkeys on N64?
Not the terrible ones. Like the good ones. They just did like the
Stick of Truth.
And
yeah,
stuff.
I played that thing. Yeah,
they did this really good bit in it. So like when you're creating a character, when you get to your race, choosing your race is also the difficulty of the game.
Okay.
So if your character is black, that's playing on hard difficulty.
Sure, yeah. Just
like
doing life on hard mode.
Exactly. I was like, it's the funniest bit I've ever seen a video game do.
There's a lot of good, like gems in that game when you play it, like and then fourth wall breaks and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the game's worth playing just for the jokes. All right,
you're worth playing just for the jokes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, sound effects are free. For
I didn't know you were sterning it up.
You can hit the button.
We got sound effects.
You
so
want.
just they're free for all guests to use. A is
okay.
That's a good one.
All right.
B is that's if you make a hip hop reference.
Sure.
And then C, and that will go as long as you hold it down.
Okay.
And then D is classic joke.
Yeah. All right.
So,
I got it now.
Yeah.
How sweaty are you on a scale of 1 to 11?
I'm at like a 5 right now.
Fucking super sweaty.
I'm not too bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna get worse.
It's gonna get.
Yeah, I'm like 7.
Yeah.
Like sweaty. I'm on the sweatier side.
Yeah, but you're a bigger guy, dude. You've been lifted too. I feel like.
Yeah,
I don't want
It touched your arm the other day. Remember that?
Yeah, you squeezed my bicep. You were like the second person in a row to squeeze my bicep.
Yeah.
I think you broke some tension because it was like a lady who was squeezing my bicep at first.
Did I subconsciously do that to like fix it or something?
I think that's
I might
what
have did that.
Or you were just like, oh, this is an opportunity.
This is an opportunity.
Everybody's doing it.
Feel up, Johnny.
Yeah, when did you? Because you're way better looking than when I first met you. And I mean that as you
talking
are.
to me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
You are. So like, when did you go through your whole face? I didn't remember one time you said you started lifting with your dad.
I started lifting with my dad and my brother, and then
Dude.
my brother just graduated high school and I was at college at U of M, but we would after work I'd meet him and we'd work out together, and then now I've just been doing it on my own. But I've been doing cool. I added like interval sprinting, which helps. That's better.
Really? Sprinting?
Yeah, I've always oscillated between being jacked and fat depending on the day.
What about, have you ever thought about doing a fat jacked?
Yeah, no.
That rules.
That's like that's what awesome. I am sometimes. It depends. It depends. Genuinely, like it's all like what either my chest or stomach is going to be bigger depending on.
It depends how many deals are happening at Domino's that month. You're like, oh, dude, I'm kind of jealous. That's so cool. Like lifting with your dad and brother. That's just like that's what barbarians I feel like did. Like, that's such great masculine bonding. Like a whole family lifting weights together. I'm just a man.
We just had to go straight from there to like find an animal to kill with our bare hands. Just go RFK a bear and bring it home to the
and
girls.
It's wounded and it's still alive. And then your dad goes, "You have to kill it. This is gonna be your first one. You need to experience this." And then you both kneel over the carcass, and you're like, you feel his life spirit leaving his body, and then you just rip him open with your hands.
It weirdly sounds like
we're not Native American.
No. Oh God! I'm getting my racism confused.
You feel this bear, you'll feel the generations of bears that came before it.
Dude, you're getting eerily close to the scene from the Red Dragon where she jerks off the tiger. Like that's what I was picturing. Oh,
what?
Yeah, in the Red Dragon
movie where somebody jerks off
Red
a dragon.
Like when he fucking or the Tooth Fairy takes the blind girl to get the tiger.
Yeah, does she jerk off a tiger in that?
Well, I think in the original Manhunter, she they really do. In the book, it's like meant to be very sexual energy that she's like.
I don't think that's in the because the Red Dragon is the one with Hopkins as Lecter. I think and then Manhunter was the Michael Mann one before that. Yeah,
which I like better. But the Michael Mann one definitely they don't show her jerking off, but it's like I think both of them show that she's rubbing his underbelly a little low. Like they don't fully it's a little low how Hanner gets on his belly.
And she look
it's
at
like,
she
it was
looks
the
up
equivalent of like a girl rubbing your stomach and then her fingers get in your waistline kind of equivalent.
Okay. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, dude. It's hot.
She's gonna touch my beaner.
Did you say beaner? Sorry.
Yeah, that's the way I get my racism now.
Cool, dude. There's a reason.
I just say a word that sounds like another word and then just say racist things.
We were talking about this before, Joe. You're the second guest on the podcast. First guest was black, so we've still not allowed a white man on this podcast.
Sick.
And I think we're at the point where we're going to agree that we're not going to give white men platforms.
Yeah, we don't think they deserve it. You know?
We've heard too much from them.
Yeah, I agree.
Already.
There's too many white guys.
I mean, we're still going to do this podcast and be in control of everything,
right.
But
See,
we're not going to.
Alternatively, I only have white guests.
Yes.
And people will be like, "Oh, you only have white guys." And I'm like, "There's an Asian guy in every episode." Like, shut up, dude.
You're also like, I want the podcast to be good. Like,
have you had women on there? No.
I'm half token.
Half token.
Yeah.
No, but we were talking. You were talking about I was bringing up the waistline thing, and I was just thinking, do you guys remember dry humping? You were dry humping,
dude.
Do I remember?
Yeah, I kind of.
I remember yesterday.
I remember fucking shaved penis because you dry humped for like an hour, and then the worst blue balls ever in my life.
I kind of missed that. Dude.
Why would you miss that?
Well, I don't miss the dry hump. I just miss being able to hump teenage girls legally. That's what I miss. No, I know. I there's something.
There we go.
No, I do genuinely miss there is something about that young first starting to do sexual stuff where dry humping is awesome.
Well, because dry humping is never, at least from my memory of it, it was never like, all right, we're gonna dry hump. It would just start happening.
Yeah,
it was like it was just like a rhythm would begin. Yeah.
Dry humping rules. I'm just saying, I definitely appreciate the dry humps I had as a teenager more than some of the sex I've had as an adult. Way more than some of the sex I've had as an adult. I've never regretted a dry hump. I've regretted 50% of the sex I've had.
So you're talking about the anticipation to.
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting.
It's the same reason why I'd rather see a woman in regular underwear than in a thong.
Oh, dude, you want a full geisha? You
no,
want a girl to
not
come
that.
Out,
but you know what I mean.
Show you her ankle.
If a chick's in a regular bra with regular underwear, I'm not talking granny underwear, but regular nice looking, can have lace and everything.
I like a lady in boxers.
Okay.
I might just be gay,
With
but
like
I
dude,
do like
I like a lady that's just a guy. I just like guys, dude.
I'd like a lady that has a penis.
yeah, and facial hair.
I like a lady with more clothes on.
And we talked about this before.
She takes
I
off
like
her
a
clothes.
lady with- I like a lady with clothes on and not in the room or talking to me.
This goes into the thing where I'm talking about like where I want to be carried through the threshold of my house on my wedding day. You know.
Well, dude. Muscle mommies are cool. I like
That is
those.
cool.
yeah, I would totally have a muscle mommy. You know. Or,
I mean, I watch wrestling, so of course I'm into muscle mommies.
Yeah. It's a
There's,
gold
like,
mine for those.
You see a woman with sick traps.
plus, you like sucking clits that are huge and imagining it's a
All right.
wiener.
It doesn't have to be like that. They can
I
have
prefer
perfectly
it to be
normally
that way,
sized
but it
clits.
doesn't have to be.
I think we did a bit about one time about like how we want a lady with such big of a clit that she can fuck you with it in the ass.
That would be kind of hot, though. I mean, and you said, and okay, going back to other previous episodes since we're doing that, you said anything you do with the ladies not gay. So
Yeah, I would. No, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I smell really bad. I'm sorry if this.
No,
if I
no. You
smell.
know what you can do with a lady that is gay is be friends with them.
Yeah. Just have
kinda
meaningful conversations with them over the phone. Pretty gay.
Yeah,
Ooh, what am I, your gay best friend?
I guess I'm gay now too. Yeah.
You know, as we get, you know, what I think is dying that I kind of miss. I mean, like, I'm glad like everyone's more open with their sexuality and more people are accepting of people's sexualities. But what's a dying trope is the gay guy with the fat girl best friend.
Yeah.
That's like not as much of a thing, but like I remember growing up, that was the thing.
Yeah. Who are the fat girls friends with now?
I don't know, probably bisexual men. I think. I think that might be it.
Hard time with the fat ladies out there.
Yeah, I don't know who they are friends with. I don't really talk to any of them. So
No, yeah, that's like. Well, do you feel like it's in trends? It's like if it's not in vogue to have a certain type of friend, people just don't anymore. You know,
yeah, I mean probably.
like if the gay guys are like, oh, it's not cool to have a fat lady friend anymore, they just stop doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I think like also now straight guys are cool with having gay friends.
Yes, yeah, no, that's good.
And I think it just
And
makes
once you can
gay
be friends
guys
with
would
a
rather have straight
They
friends.
have a straight guy friend.
Yeah. It's clearly
Oh.
a higher on the friend list.
Devastating.
Well,
dude.
also I think everyone I think gay guys have the fantasy of like turning a straight guy.
yeah,
But like I don't even think that's a stereotype because I think even straight guys have a fantasy of turning a lesbian.
yes.
So I think it's just a normal thing. Like
I think
I'm
it's- yeah.
so good that they'll fucking take their whole sexual identity and throw it away from me.
Lesbians have fantasies of turning women.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, why not? I mean, come on.
It's called $3 White Claw night.
And then you're just hanging out and you're just like, let me eat your pussy.
every woman's
That's how I
definitely gay.
That's how I
right?
think it happens. They just go, let me eat your pussy.
I think every woman's like definitely gay though.
yeah.
I mean, at
Like
least
derogatorily or like
both.
Everyone's-
honestly. Like, at least more accepting to their self on the homosexuality spectrum
yeah.
than men are.
No, yeah, like straight girls, like I assume most straight girls have made out with a woman at least once.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
would too. Yeah.
Well, you can't fucking like go hunting with a dude and then blow him. You
Here's
know,
the thing.
like-
I think that
What do you mean you can, Chris?
but I mean, you know what I mean. It's like a different feeling. But like if you go to like a nail salon and you go
Do that
shopping at the
post-hunt
mall,
blow?
I think
with that after they've used that scentless body wash.
it's like you smell like nothing.
here's the thing. That
You smell like deer piss.
that definitely happens, but they're just on the truck ride on the way home. They're like, we cannot tell anyone about this.
No, I don't think they would even say anything. I think it just gets you just blow each other and then you just drive and you
Both-
act like it never happened.
You just
you.
got to tag the dick afterwards.
Take a picture of it on your hood.
It's what like a little mark on your truck, like those like World War II bomber dudes.
This
Yeah,
will be a
just-
Tinder pic. Just holding up the balls.
I love the idea of two hunters fucking in the woods in camo and a family walking by and just going, why does it stink?
Smells out here. It smells like Uncle Larry's house. What's going on over here in the woods?
Like shoot a deer. Like, all right, we're gonna open up some guts, and then we're gonna gut this deer. All right.
See, Johnny doesn't have sound effects, so he's getting really into it.
I know. It's real novelty.
That's why I showed you. Like, they get excited. People can see sound effects.
We forget about having them, except
I don't know.
we
Sometimes
remember.
we overuse them though too.
Yeah,
We're not really hot or cold with the sound effects. Like sometimes we'll use them every 5 seconds.
It can be a good crutch.
Yeah,
you know?
especially when you're trying to fill.
Well, it's usually I try to like if we're on a thing and I'm like, all right, let's do something else. I'll hit the button. It's like a reset, and then you just do something different. You know.
You should change the hip hop one to play the entirety of X Gun. Give it to you.
I can change them. I'm too lazy to figure it out.
Or just the beginning. Like you could, be like, oh, we used to have a black guy on the podcast and press it. And it's like,
or just like just write in the caption, where the hood at?
I got blood on my dick because I fucked some corpse. I'm a nasty.
Is it where the hood at? I don't know. Have we talked about the DMX song on here before?
Which one?
I don't know. I've talked to a bunch of people. I think it's where the hood's at. Where it's one of them. Where he does
where the hood,
I know
that one.
Yeah, but I can't remember which exact DMX song it is. Where I think it's where the hood's at. Where he talks about how he hates homo thugs.
yeah.
But then, like, and he's like, if you've ever kissed a man, I ain't touching your hand, like all that shit. But then later in the song, and I bring this up to people all the time, he goes, 2 guys, one hold my balls while the other one's sucking it, and it's like, well, what the fuck is that? Like, you went from being homophobic to talking about getting sucked off by 2 guys in the same song.
It's like Bobby Brown goes down. It's like,
Well,
hey, if you're gay, you better suck my dick.
Yeah.
well, that's the hard part about it. Like, in order to emasculate a man, they do that. You know what I mean? By saying you're fucking gay, you're sucking. No, you're sucking my dick.
Dominating it. Yeah.
But at the same time, you're making yourself gay.
Yeah, well, no, because it's a very Egyptian view
Roman,
of sexuality.
Yeah.
Very Roman, and
like,
which still exists in the prisons.
Yeah,
you know?
As long as you're doing the man stuff, you're not gay. It's when you start doing the lady stuff.
As long as you're thinking about a lady.
Prison is the last bastion of the Roman Empire.
It's like, these
a lot of people have been Caesared in prison.
Yeah.
Like a guy in prison, like, this is how Caesar would have done it.
Did they fuck Caesar while they were stabbing him?
No, they fucked him for like the 2-3 months beforehand.
Yeah.
So when he was getting stabbed, he's like, "That's fine," like that's cool.
He's like, "Yeah, this. I understand why this is happening. This is actually good. This is better."
Brutus was the last one to get in there.
Who's your favorite fucking Roman leader?
Oh fuck!
I'm a big fan of Nero.
Yeah.
I like fiddled and burnt the city. Isn't that?
No, I just like that he was like the one that was throwing Christians in with lions, which is just cool.
Oh shit!
He was like that.
You're gonna say that with my Bible here on the table?
I grew up Catholic. Huh? I don't care. I just think that was cool.
This leather-bound Bible that I bought for fucking making skits.
Did you also get that? That was also a dead person's too, in addition to the couch.
No, I actually got it on Amazon.
Oh, you got that new?
Yeah, I bought it new.
It looks worn.
Yeah, well, that's.
Dude, is that an Amazon brand Bible? That'd be so funny.
If
it says Prime in
Jeff
the Bible,
yeah. Jesus' name is swapped out with Jeff Bezos' name through the whole entire thing.
They took out all the socialist shit that Jesus said.
Oh shit! We never. This is a good time. We never brought up the Goodreads thing on here, have we?
The what?
Goodreads.
Oh, the thing? Yeah.
Okay, so
did we not do
fun.
that?
No, we never did on the podcast. We just talked about it on the phone. So, Johnny, if you're not aware, you know Goodreads, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's the app for reviewing books.
Yeah, it's letterbox for books.
Yeah.
So, but the funny thing about Goodread is pretty much every book is on there.
Okay.
And the Diary of Anne Frank is on Goodreads.
Oh, no.
It's the best comment section of all time. Yeah. If you go there,
give it like 3 stars,
dude.
Okay.
That's the most insane reviews.
Yeah.
Like, I respect the 1-star people who deny the Holocaust more than the 3-star people. The 3-star people are like, this book is boring.
Yeah.
She's just stuck in the attic complaining about her period the whole time. You're like, what psychopath?
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Right when something starts to happen, the book ends.
They read it like it's like a book of fiction. Like the protagonist is so unlikable. She just complains about her mom.
I don't even have an attic.
I think someone said I think part of the book was like, they barely even ever left the attic. But we got into it, like, mostly it's like a highly reviewed book, but it still has like 70,000 one-star reviews.
Sure, yeah.
And it's all just people like denying the Holocaust, which I didn't know about this. Because I was going through the comment section of it, and in the reviews, and I didn't know about this. I found about a new thing. Did you know? Have you ever heard about the ballpoint pen theory?
No.
Okay, so there's like a whole theory about how the book is written with a ballpoint pen, but the ballpoint pen wasn't invented until after the book was created.
Well, how do we know it was written with a ballpoint pen?
I don't know. I just, dude, they don't explain it.
fucking
There's just
Nazi-
a lot of people that are like,
neo-Nazi
the ballpoint
propaganda.
pen was invented in 1932, and,
Okay.
like, and then a Wikipedia, like, and then it's a lot of just, it'll say like one-star review and just say ballpoint pen, and I like that's.
So this is what convinced you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
They say the
it made me
dad wrote the.
interested.
They say that the dad wrote it and said it was his daughter's, and then
See,
tried to
I
make
don't
money.
believe
That's
that.
the plot of World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing.
It's just the story of the Diary of Anne Frank, but with Robin Williams. Let's make that movie.
the Jews got her. Oh.
My dad was a great inspiration to me.
Oh, my daughter was a Jew. Yes.
Judaism.
And the Nazis come over. So it's like, hey.
Then you can do a crossover with Good Morning Vietnam somehow.
Good morning, Auschwitz. Isn't that Life is Beautiful? It's just Good Morning Vietnam, but for Auschwitz.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's like a comedy about the concentration camps.
Can you watch that red light every once in a while?
Oh yeah.
Thank you, son.
But then we deep dived down. I'm like, all right, so the Diary of Anne Frank's on there, dude. The Quran's on there.
Oh,
And then the
I'm
Holy
sure that
Bible.
one's uncontroversial.
Yeah, dude. I am telling you, if you're ever bored,
Just go through the Quran reviews.
yes, it's so funny. Also, the Holy Bible is up there. That's hilarious.
It's so funny that there's so many like, because getting an app for reviewing books is a pretty gay thing to do to
Yeah.
begin with.
yeah.
And to think that there's like right wing freaks
Yeah.
reviewing books, like they're like Diary of Anne Frank, fake
Was it-
Tuesdays with Morrie. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Someone's got to review Tucker Carlson's book. You know?
The Turner Diaries, amazing book. Awesome.
Glenn Beck wrote a lot of books.
He did.
Yeah, and
Oh.
they love them.
Amazing roster, that guy.
Yeah, I think they're all like New York Times bestsellers too. Unfortunately, yeah.
The Unabomber Manifesto, amazing. Love
Yeah.
it.
I bet
It's
it's
actually
on
pretty
there.
good. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Read. Pretty
I
good
believe
read.
you own a copy of Mein Kampf, so I believe that you
I have
also own that.
I own a copy of the Unabomber Manifesto too.
Yeah.
But I also own a copy of I don't know. I was trying to think of something else that might have been contradicted all bad.
Oh my god! I think it's White Fragility is the book you're supposed to say you
No,
own
what was
right
the
now.
one we already talked about? With the fucking
The new
gorilla.
Jim Crow. Do you own the new Jim Crow?
The gorilla that fucking talks.
God,
Ishmael?
Life, the story of that's the sequel, right? Is it Ishmael is my name?
Yeah, something like that.
Do you know that book we talked about before? The gorilla that like about how humanity's evil.
No.
The guy you never read. It's like a super
I've never read that
hipster
one.
book. It's basically like a It's basically that humanity is flawed from the get go, and a gorilla explains to a guy about how like the second humanity even started agriculture, they were like reaching and destroying the world.
The condescending fucking gorillas, you know?
Yeah, and that like humanity like shouldn't reach for the stars. They should just like acknowledge that like they have the ability to, but don't. And maybe that's like your place is that we had the ability to destroy the world, but we didn't, and we just live like essentially hunters and gatherers.
Wow. And you double featured this with the Unabomber's Manifesto?
Yeah, it's right next to it in my bookshelf. I'll show you a bookshelf later.
It's real.
You can make up your own mind on
He's
me.
got a crazy book club, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Are there any other Kaczynski reads in there?
No Kaczynski ones, but there.
He should have renamed the manifesto A
You know
Pollock's
what?
Dream.
They used to not, but they've been getting really big on Dr. Seuss in the last couple of years.
Oh.
They realize there's a lot of hidden gems.
The places you'll go? Yeah. That one?
It's like, did you see the black version of that book?
No, what is that?
It doesn't exist. I was just saying.
Oh.
Can you imagine if he like racist Dr. Seuss?
The places you'll go. To jail for trumped up drug charges.
Dr. Seuss is the racist Dr. Seuss.
The police.
Yeah, he was definitely racist, that guy.
The
There's no way.
policeman opened his trunk. He found skibbity doos and skibbity dunks. He put them. He said, "Put your hands in the air. Please don't dance unless you dare to get shot."
So you remember? Do you remember when Dr. Seuss was really getting like that whole? I think it was like 2020, 2021.
Yeah, there was like a Dr. Seuss because it was the places you'll go. They were censoring out the Asian caricature,
and I think there was like they found some other books that had some. Like,
there was some
problems.
questionable.
Hop on Pop. I mean, come on.
That was actually that. No, don't.
That's
Hop
super
on Pop's already
innocent.
out. Hop and Pop is just they like jumping on their dad. I used to jump on my dad.
I jumped on my
not a
dad.
sexual thing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Dad was big. You could jump on him, dude.
My dad was dead, so.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You could jump on his grave. That'd be cool.
No, I don't think I never did it. I never finished it, but I had that song. Remember where it's a rap song, and so it was supposed to be making fun of some of these tribute songs that rappers make about like somebody that died or somebody they knew, and like their verse has like nothing to do with the person. They're just talking about like get money, party,
yeah, dude,
whatever.
So funny, like making a tribute song to your mom and then getting a feature by like 2 Chainz is like bitches pour up.
Right? Yeah.
Like, and then in between it's like Mama, I miss you.
Exactly. So I made a song where it
Get
starts
your
out.
ass on the dance floor.
Yeah. So it starts off with me just rapping like regular dumb shit, and then the chorus is, "Dad, why'd you have to die in that accident?" And I wanted to film a music video where I'm doing the rap part, and then when it comes to the dad part, it has like actual shots of my dad's tombstone and me standing next to it. Dad, why'd you have to die in that snowmobile
And then
accident?
You just
and
go
then back to fucking at the party getting the bitches.
Give me dome while I smoke a blunt.
Yeah, exactly. Like I thought it'd be hilarious.
Actually, dude, your dad might. Dude, if your dad's a real dog, he would appreciate that. Honestly, he goes.
He would.
I like that. That's a good tribute for me.
From what I remember and what people told me, he would have totally loved it. My family, not so much. I took a picture, posted on Instagram, where I'm standing in front of one of those snowmobile signs up in the UP, and I'm like, just a picture of me and my dad. And my aunt just commented with like the cry face. I was like, oh yeah, my family. They might not understand this type of humor.
But before I get off the Dr. Seuss thing, what I was saying is like right during that controversy when he was like getting like all the hate, I went to New Orleans for a vacation, and I remember walking down the street, and I came across a whole place that was the Dr. Seuss art gallery.
Oh, sick.
And I was like, damn, this is a rough time to be this business. And so I had to go in there. I was like, I felt bad.
You're better off being the gravesite of James Buchanan than
Dude, it was so funny because it was like basically there was a woman who ran it, and she was just like a kooky kindergarten teacher. And you could tell she loved Dr. Seuss, and so I didn't even bring it up. I was going to bring it up. I was like, I'm gonna walk in there and see what their opinion is, and I'm like, this woman's on the edge right now. I'm like, I can't come in here and fuck with her.
Yeah.
The fucked up thing about that though is, at the same time, it probably got bigger. So
some of the wrong people started showing up.
Exactly.
Well,
like,
because there's the right wing guys that every time something's remotely coming close to getting canceled, they have to like that thing now.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, we gotta love Dr. Seuss now, or now I really care about the Little Mermaid. You know, they gotta
like the Derek Chauvin fan club only had like 10 people before.
Oh hell, dude.
yeah, people like that guy. Dude, he murdered a black guy,
and now it's.
I just figured out how to save the Star Wars franchise. Just say they just like create that they're canceling it because Jedis are too close to priests, and that fucking franchise
that'll shoot back up.
Yeah, dude, just create a fake controversy that you are going to cancel Star Wars, and white Americans will come around to defend Star Wars.
Well, a lot of the right wing Star Wars guys, they still really like Rogue One because that movie's all about how like war is sick.
Yeah, it is.
And like you're gonna die, but that's cool.
I do love Rogue One. Rogue One was awesome. Mm-hmm. I love everyone dying.
Well, like
it is fun.
Like the biggest arguments in the newer ones was what, that like women had power or something. I just didn't like the story. Like I didn't care about like all the other shit. And I noticed parts where I'm like, oh yeah, this is the white dude being like, oh, the lady's in charge. She's saying no. How dare a lady say no?
My thing is, I think I was like still a little immature about it because like I really was like hating on the new series, and then I was like realized I'm like, well, like it's kind of one of those things like I think as I matured, like I used to like being negative about movies, and then you get older and you realize like how hard it is to make a movie, and that pretty much any movie you like, if you put under a microscope, you can create plot flaws and all that.
Well,
like
especially so many growing up, like young guys getting into movies, they watch these YouTubers and their whole thing is like hating movies.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, it's cool to hate movies.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Well, it's like because I hated Star Wars, and then I came across, I don't know if it was an article, I think on Cracked.com.
Oh yeah,
I was a big Cracked guy.
I was a Cracked guy.
I loved Cracked, and there was a whole article about how like Luke Skywalker's plan in Return of the Jedi makes zero fucking sense.
Oh yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I think all the Star Wars are dumb and don't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's just
in reality, in reality,
not even
it's just
reality.
it's kinda like,
even
who cares?
plot-wise.
Like-
But then I was like,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
popcorn movies.
And honestly, I don't care about plot. Well, first of all, people will call stuff plot holes, and it's not.
Yeah.
Like they'll say like how did Bruce Wayne get back to Gotham? And that's a plot hole. I'm like, no, it's not a plot hole. It just means they didn't tell us how. Like
Right,
he walked, he took a train. I don't know.
Just
like
why a 45-minute break of just
Yeah.
him sitting on a train.
on a thing.
the movie doesn't have to show you everything. Like,
He asked for peanuts, they're all out.
Yeah, there's parts and things that you don't need to know. It's boring. Like,
yeah, it's like, it's really crazy how like we never see Superman take a shit, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, how do we know that he does if we don't see it?
It is wild. I was just thinking about this the other day because I'm binging the whole fucking Conjuring series right now.
Nice.
Well, because
like all the spin-offs, like the Annabelles and everything.
Well, I'm doing it in chronological order, and because I never watched any of the spin-offs. I only watched the first two Conjurings.
Yeah.
And then, but I saw Last Rite, and for some reason, I saw like the trailer or the teaser for Last Rites. It may have even been fake, but I know they announced it. I don't know. For some reason, I got pumped. I was like, I should watch all of these actually.
Yeah,
it's like been a big
I like
part.
the main Conjuring movies, like the ones that are actually called The Conjuring, because I like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Like I like them as those characters, but even though the Warrens were like grifters in real life, they were like huge scam
that's
artists.
my biggest
definitely
problem.
Scam artists.
But the movies make them look cool.
Yeah, but they're dead, so it's not like they're getting any of the money.
Yeah,
so
who
who cares?
Well, that's like my biggest problem with the whole thing. I'm like, they make it seem way more realer, and like they you know what I mean? Like she's got this sense, you know, when she comes into places.
Yeah,
and
but it's fun.
She's haunted by this. You know what I mean? Like,
Here's
shut
what
the
really
fuck
happened
up.
is like most of these, like they'll make a whole movie and they're doing an exorcism and somebody's floating in the air and they gotta like suck the demon out of them, and like in real life they went to that place for like an hour and Lorraine like bit her tongue and she was like, oh, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
It's like,
that
oh
was it.
god,
Ed stubbed his toe and he goes, "There is a dark presence here."
there's some really demonic energy in here, and we
was
need to. We're here for you for
It's so-
$300 an hour. We're here for you.
But I was just saying, I'm like looking at the whole franchise right now, and I just think it's funny that somehow the DCU couldn't figure out a way to give Superman 3 movies, but Annabelle has 3. Is like that's
dude.
a funny idea to me.
Annabelle doesn't even talk, dude.
Yeah.
She has so many movies.
She's in.
Because Annabelle doesn't even, she's not like Chucky. She doesn't like walk around killing people.
No.
She's just a doll that's like cursed,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. How do you get so much mileage out of a character that doesn't even move?
Because dolls sell, dude. A doll sell.
Yeah.
They do.
You can do whatever the fuck you. Well, yeah, creepy doll. It's like, I don't know, playing on like
classic.
classic bullshit, you know.
But they-
like
yeah.
you all,
Dolls,
did you guys have a creepy? I had a fucking My Little Buddy, and then the
Oh.
movie Chucky came out,
Yeah, yeah.
and I put that motherfucker in my closet.
The My
and
Buddies, yeah.
I could not fucking sleep.
Were
I-
Good Guys based off My
They're-
Buddy?
yeah, they were, yeah.
Yeah, so I
Because
had.
My Buddies were like a similar size.
Yes.
Like the size of a toddler.
Yeah, yeah.
They're big, yeah.
Like I tried to put its clothes on one time, and I'm like, I don't fit in these clothes. I want to wear these clothes. I like this doll that somebody got me, and then somebody's like, hey, you should watch this movie. 6-year-old or whatever, how old I was.
Yeah. How you like dolls?
You like dolls now? And I threw the fucking thing in my. Like I said, at least a couple weeks, nights where I couldn't sleep because I thought that thing was going to come out of my fucking closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they play on that, you know.
My
they play on that.
mom, I don't know what the kind of dolls, but my mom had like, she got it from a relative, these like baby dolls.
Yeah.
That she had up like on her register room, but they were like those old porcelain ones that had the
Oh,
eyes.
yeah, those are-
and
yeah.
the eye. They're the creepiest fucking things of all time. I
I don't understand how those were ever not considered creepy. You
I know. I don't know either. Because like the way, because even like it was like the ones where you could like their eyes would move, like they'd level when they had eyelids and shit. So I broke them.
I think it's relative. I think it's relative because like the dolls before that were just like twigs and sticks like bundled together with fabric and shit.
Those
you know
are
what I mean?
Those aren't
so
even
you know
dolls.
what I mean?
Those are pagan effigies.
What's creepy?
That's what those
but that's
are.
what I'm
That's the
saying.
Blair
That's
Witch symbol.
creepier. That's creepier than the fucking porcelain head doll that's eyes open. You know
I
what
think
mean?
anything that resembles human characteristics that isn't fully human is always scary because it's it's uncanny. Same reason like
Uncanny
people
Valley.
think clowns
Uncanny
are scary.
Valley.
Because clowns look like people, but they're
I don't know
not.
if you noticed, we got a bunch of clowns.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I didn't even. I'm immune to clowns. at
My
this
wife
point.
likes Halloween.
I could tell. I saw the inflatable stuff outside. That was cool.
Oh yeah,
I took a picture.
she's super into Halloween and hating immigrants. No, only when she drinks wine. No, I'm just. She's not. She's a real nice lady.
Yeah.
No, she's a sweet, beautiful angel.
You better be just dressed.
Dude, I'll beat your ass, bro, if you talk about your wife like that.
If you look Mexican and come to this house, it better be a costume.
But the last thing on the doll thing that I thought was funny is so I was like watching like fucking videos about like the real, the Warrens and shit.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about real dolls.
No, but like they did the I mean, you guys have at least seen the pictures of all the Annabelle doll. It's like a creepy doll.
Yeah.
So then it showed they changed it from the original design that actually was.
It was
the
a Raggedy
Annabelle.
Ann.
Yeah, it was like a Raggedy Ann. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, because that would have been the goofiest movie of all time.
kind of silly, yeah. Also, maybe they couldn't get the rights. I don't know.
I kind of want them to remake a historically accurate Annabelle.
Yeah.
Or it's just a Raggedy Ann doll that's
Yeah.
creepy as fuck.
And like a guy fell down the stairs one time, so they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm haunted."
Yeah, his daughter left it at the top of the stairs. He jumped back, broke his neck, and then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, so clearly a demon lives in it.
The guy cheated on his wife and was like, "The doll made me do it."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, call the Warrens. They're gonna exercise me.
Honestly, it's almost that time period where a guy would beat his wife and be like, actually, it was the doll.
Yeah, the doll. The doll made me beat my wife and also jack off too much.
well, isn't that the?
She gave me lip and the doll beat her. I don't know what happened.
Isn't that like the
had
Amityville
nothing to-
horror thing? The whole thing is like he murdered his family. They're like, oh, it's this house,
I
definitely.
never saw the originals. I only saw the one with Ryan Reynolds, which I love.
I saw the James Brolin one.
I
seen
saw that one too. Yeah.
That's one where he was like, "I'm coming apart," He's screaming. That's
That's
fun
awesome.
one. Yeah, I think. Well, the idea was like originally it was like a guy that killed his family. The Dupays or something. I forget what their name was.
Isn't the Ryan Reynolds ones have something to do with like Jack the Ripper somehow?
Did they throw that in there?
I think it's Jack
maybe.
the Ripper at the end.
That's so fun because he was in London.
I
right?
mean, I
he was
might
in the
be-
UK. Jack the Ripper.
I might be adding that, but I swear to God, it's Jack
That's
the Ripper.
awesome.
Well, I was actually watching a documentary for a while. They were calling essentially like serial killers that like hack people up. They were calling them all Rippers. They were calling them like the Boston Ripper.
No,
and
there's only one Ripper, dude.
Yeah.
but there's
dude.
really only one good Ripper.
Will the real Ripper please stand up?
Like Jack the Ripper, and I don't know, like reading the story about that, dude, I don't know. I think it was just a bunch of dudes that were like, hey, we can totally just rip this fucking bitch
Well, no,
and just blame it on this. You know what I mean?
Kind of like there's like, again, this is back in like when I used to read every single Cracked article, and I think Cracked did a whole thing about how like there's like a big theory that like they know who Jack the Ripper is, and it was some like Scottish sailor.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was just like going around to different times, and that's why Jack the Ripper just disappeared, because he was just like he was just docked in London for that time period.
My love,
I've heard that.
My love,
Yeah.
my lady is the sea,
Yeah.
and hacking up ladies sometimes.
And like they tracked this trip, like this ship log, and like every city the ship went to, there ended up being murders of women in.
I always kind of was under the impression that it might not even just be one guy. Like this is a time.
It's a very
lawless time.
Ghostface.
Yeah, it's Ghostface. It's generational.
The original Ghostface.
Matthew Lillard was one of the Jack the Rippers.
Dude, remaking like a Victorian era Scream would be awesome. Jack the Ripper.
You know who was apparently one of the suspects of being Jack the Ripper? Because there's many people that are suspected. One of them is Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in Wonderland.
Really?
Some people think he might have been.
That's fucking awesome.
I don't really know
dude.
all the details why, but
That's a good movie.
Yeah,
That'd be a sick movie.
such a great movie.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I would love it. You know, like that the dude that wrote that went out. It's fine. I would love it that the dude that wrote that book was secretly just hacking people up, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's such a great guy." Like, oh, what's the dude with that wrote Winnie the Pooh? Like, if he was secretly,
dude, it is.
Well, it was like a league of serial killers that all wrote kids' books.
Yeah, like Dr. Seuss, definitely.
Yeah,
he had his own little thing, though. You know what I mean?
Jeff Kinney has women in his basement.
Shel Silverstein.
Shel kind of
the
looks
light in the
dangerous,
attic kind of makes sense. Isn't that the name of the book?
Yeah. Shel seems
where
like
the sidewalk ends. This is where the sidewalk ends for you, bitch.
I call myself the taking tree. I take your life.
That's fucking great that we all have references for it. That's how much Shel Silverstein has influenced our
Well, he was
lives.
a scary guy too. Like the pictures of him on the back of those books.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember
Like him. Well, there's one like him with a guitar, and he's wearing like all white, and he's
No
got
shoes
he's got
on,
the
right?
dogs out. Yeah, the dogs are out.
He was at least a date rapist if he had a picture of him with a guitar on his book.
He's like, I sing a pretty song for the ladies, and then they get all
Sublime
sleepy.
wrote the song "Date Rape" about him.
I think he is the guy who's singing in "Wrong Way" by Sublime. I think. You know, like having sex with a 12-year-old but feeling bad about it.
Damn, dude, it's so crazy how bad that song aged as I got older.
Yeah, it's the literal first line.
I know. When
Every
I was,
chick's
like,
12 years
when I
old.
was a teenager, like I started listening to that when I was like 13. So it was
And you're
like
like, hell yeah,
cool.
dude.
I was like, yeah.
Chicks love it so
Other
much.
13-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly. And now I get older and I'm like, that's a rough line.
I'm like, can we change the age as we get older?
Yeah.
As we say, like, if I do that in karaoke, I'd just change the age for the
It
lady.
is kind of funny doing that.
34.
Yeah. Annie's 45 years old, and tomorrow she'll be a whore.
Dude, dude, my girlfriend has adult braces. That'd be so funny to take her karaoke and sing that song. Everyone's like, can you double check her ID?
Oh, fucking shit, tits, word. But we're getting close. We're
Where
getting
we at?
close. We're getting close. We're at 56.
Okay, we got 5 more.
we can do whatever we want. We can be as sweaty as we want in here.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. You can get as sweaty as you want, Johnny.
I'll reveal my eyes to the viewers
is.
for the first time.
This will probably be 2 weeks before this drops, right?
Okay. I
Probably.
did.
So probably like first week October. So it is. I do kind of want to talk spooky.
It's
Though.
kind of Halloweeny then.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
We are also live from the Motor City Comedy Festival.
Yes.
at this
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
When this drops,
that.
you could have catch Johnny 2 weeks ago.
You could have come me 2 weeks ago. Come back next year.
I didn't get in a comedy festival.
Dude,
I'm so mad.
I spent last night on Westward's couch, as is my go-to here. And I didn't realize I'd forgotten there's another guy that was showing up to stay tonight. And so I was hungover this morning. I was sleeping in, and then I woke up to the knocking on the door, and I answer it, and it's this guy I don't know. And I was just like, what? And I'm Wes is like still asleep. I'm like, what? And the guy's like, are you Wes? I'm like, no. And I'm like about to shut the door. And then I was like, wait, he might need Wes. I'm like, do you need him? And he's like, yeah, no, my name's Steven. I'm a comedian from out of town. I'm supposed to stay. Like, he didn't, this poor guy, he doesn't know anybody.
You're just an asshole, right?
I'm just an
got this
asshole.
fucking-
Dude, that's a hangover wake up. like, leave me alone.
I was like, go back home.
Disturbing me right now.
He was a nice guy, though. I felt
Wes
bad
is
for him.
gone forever. Forget about him.
It's really good you're not a stand your ground kind of guy right now.
Yeah, it'd be so funny to stand Wes's ground.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just, don't worry, Wes, I'll shoot anybody that comes to your house.
Hey, Wes, some guy tried to invade your home. I took care of it. Don't worry.
Hey, don't even worry. Go back to bed.
That was my brother-in-law.
You're safe while I'm here.
You wanted to talk spooky, you said? What's,
Spooky
I don't know, like,
ghosts.
what's your guys' you have, what's the fucking, my girlfriend's at fucking Halloween right now at Cedar Point.
they're already doing that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think it started this weekend.
Yeah,
Well, 'cause,
we're in
like-
the 61 days of Halloween.
Yes, exactly. So I hate her right now because I specifically told her I wanted to go, and she's like, "Oh, I already planned a trip with my friends to go." So she's, if you're watching this, you're a bitch. I hope you had a terrible time. I hope you got scared and wished a man was there to protect you, and I wasn't. I hope that happens.
I hope you get mildly frightened but not hurt.
Yeah, I just hope you're scared and don't feel safe the whole time.
You know, I used to work at a funeral home, and creepy things would happen in that funeral home.
Yeah, like you fucking the corpses.
Yeah, who was doing the creepy things, Chris?
Chris is just walking around. He goes, "You know, your daughter smells great still after death."
Our doorbell would ring randomly, in the middle of the night. I checked the wiring. It's not the wiring. And then one night it rang. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I thought it was just somebody fucking with us. And I ran down the stairs, opened the fucking door, ran around. There was no way that anybody could have rang that doorbell.
Oh.
So weird doorbell thing would happen. And then one time we came home, everything was locked. When we came in, one of the drawers.
Did you live there?
Yeah.
You lived at the
that's
funeral
fucking
home?
wild.
So I lived. Okay, so
How is this the first time I heard you ever lived at a funeral home?
I don't know. I like to keep secrets for myself.
No, it's because there's you fucking have a case you're trying to dodge right now.
No, so I lived. Here's the funeral home. They had a detached garage, and above it they had 2 apartments. And then I lived in one of those apartments with the family there. And so yeah, we came home one day, and one of our drawers was pulled out completely, like. Not just pulled a little bit, but completely like pulled out, fell over.
Yeah. I love to think the idea that the director of the funeral home was just fucking with you and also stealing shit from you. He's like, he'll think it's ghosts. Don't worry.
My wife,
they always think it's ghosts.
She's
Everyone
only got
thinks
3
there's
pair.
ghosts here.
Yeah, she only got 3 pair of underwear now. What the fuck?
You rob the people that live at your funeral home. They're gonna blame it on the ghost. They won't even bring it up to me.
That is true.
They're just going to start acting more and more paranoid.
Yeah.
That is kind of.
I just
now
like
that I'm
to
thinking
co-
about it.
When they leave, I just like to come into their house and turn all the lights on.
There was a maintenance dude. I think he might have had keys, and he was a weird fucking guy. He would show up at the funeral home at weird times, and I would purposely like go over and be like, "Hey, what's up? You need any help with anything?" And he'd be like, "I'm just picking up a ladder." I'm like, "Oh, you didn't hear that there was some bodies over here waiting for a funeral tomorrow?" He's like, I never said that to him, but
Well, yeah, I feel like that's every day he would go there, though. I think you're really
No, he wouldn't go there
Did you
all
know
the
that There's
time.
bodies here, and he goes, "I think there's always bodies here."
there's okay. So where I worked at, they had the bodies in a central location, and then they would just bring them over to the different funeral homes because I worked for a corporate funeral home, and so yeah.
Big funerals taking over.
Damn,
Big funeral taking over. Yeah,
I-
that's why I was going to be a funeral director. I didn't want to do it because you're basically a salesman. You have to try to be like, oh yeah, we know that you live in Roseville and you have a drug problem, but pay $12,000 for this casket.
Yeah, what was the Netflix TV series about that same woman haunting on whatever?
Huh?
The fuck was it? He did Midnight Mass.
Oh, yeah, Mike Flanagan.
What was the first one?
Was it the Haunting Hill House?
Was it called Hill House? Okay.
Hill House. Then he did Bly Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Midnight Mass is awesome.
I haven't watched it.
I love, dude. If you're ex-Catholic,
Yeah.
it's the best show of all
Okay,
time.
I probably love it then.
It's a perfect last Catholic.
But back on the funeral thing, I used to deliver for FedEx for like 5 years. But when I first started, they'd always give people the routes they didn't want to do. So I used to deliver for Flint, but like the worst part of Flint, like where all the fucking what everyone thinks of Flint and danger.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think of anything at the time. Just growing up at Saginaw, I was like, oh, Flint's like Saginaw, and then I found out through time, like I had coworkers that were like, they couldn't even pay me to do that route. I was like, all right,
And
well,
you just
you're-
did it like
well,
like,
you're racist. Like,
you just did it just like
yeah, I used to fight people.
Waving at people.
I used to argue with people. I just had the white innocence where I'm like, yeah, there's no danger.
There's no danger for me in this
but
world as a white male.
I did used to deliver to this funeral home that was there, and every time I went there, it smelled like shit.
Yeah.
And it ended up getting made like national news because they
had
got
bodies
in
in the
trouble.
ceiling?
No, they weren't burying the bodies. They weren't doing the job of like decomposing. So they just had a bunch of bodies just decomposing in the back, and that's I smelled it, and they got in huge trouble because they were just like desecrating all these families' corpses.
Oh my gosh!
I think the guy who ran the funeral parlor went to like prison and shit.
I thought you
You
were-
gotta bury him.
I thought you were talking about another one. They were doing.
I kind of want to go back there because if any place is haunted, that place has to be haunted.
Yeah.
I don't even believe in haunting stuff, but I'm like, if some place is going to be haunted, it's
With
the
all the
bodies,
above ground bodies.
yeah, that didn't get buried. Like,
Yeah. They need a resting place. That's
Yeah.
their whole thing.
that's like a horror movie that someone needs to write is about that Flint funeral parlor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about. There was another one they got found out that like when they'd get a baby in and they were supposed to
eat it?
cremate it. No, cremate it for the family or whatever. They didn't do that, and then they would just put it in like a freezer, and then they started putting them in like the attic and shit like that. And they came in there was like I don't remember exactly how many, but a lot of babies in there.
We'll say 300. We don't have to
Let's say
fact check
three.
it.
It's
Ballpark
about
it.
ballpark
Yeah.
300 babies in there.
911.
It's a random number.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had 300 babies in my attic.
All right. Well, I think we're at time. Let's do plugs. Johnny, you want to plug anything?
Yeah, you said this is gonna come out in October.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. Probably like first week of October.
I'll be at Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase November 1st and 2nd, hosting for Matt McLowry.
Woo.
Sweet.
And you can follow me at Johnny Mocny Comedy on Instagram, TikTok, and then I have 2 podcasts. I have We Are Movies, which is everywhere you get podcasts, and then me and Louie do Chinese Rocket Force, which is on Spotify and YouTube.
Both
Ooh,
great.
yeah.
Check them out.
I'm very overexposed right now.
Oh, yeah.
I want to start 2 podcasts.
You should.
And
You
I already
start
have
three.
one.
But
I want
Mercer and I
3,
are
but-
talking about that Bill Maher one. I might have a third
Yeah.
one. We'll see.
Dude, Mercer just loves giving ideas for podcasts because I've pitched me and Mercer have came up with 3 different ideas for podcasts together.
He's so good at coming up with the ideas and not doing them.
Yes.
But we kind of did our pilot episode last night. I was on the shit show and he was on the panel. So I went up and I did fake Bill Maher jokes, just in his voice, and we were riffing about Bill Maher, and it was killing. And then afterwards, some open micers that don't know me were like, "Hey, good shit, dude." And I was like, "That's not my material. That's not what I do."
Speaking of which,
Please don't think that this is what I normally do.
Yeah, this is not qualified.
I know.
I'm
we're
way
almost-
more racist in what I normally do.
I have to ask, have you seen Talk Tua?
I haven't watched an episode.
I haven't
but
watched it.
support
I was hoping that you did. I felt like that would be right up your alley.
It kind of is. But
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something people say, who gives a shit about that chick? From Hawk
Clearly,
Tua?
people do.
I don't
she's
know.
charming.
Yeah, to me, I just like watching her
Of course,
do
a
dumb
guy
shit.
would say.
No,
I don't know. There's something about her I just like.
Something about the lady that loves sucking dicks. I like something about
I'm
her. I
kind
don't
of
know.
a fan of her.
No, but I bet just the way she fucking talks and just is normal.
Southerner.
It's like when I go to bed, I listen to that thunderstorm shit. I can just listen to her talking.
Oh
and,
my God, dude.
Me and my ma, we went down and bought blah blah blah.
Dude, I don't want to.
I want to see her talk about the Middle East.
Yeah, that would talk about the
Israel
war.
has a right to defend
She's
itself.
got one of them peoples with the things around their head down there.
Chris, you do white noise to sleep.
I do
Okay.
rain.
Okay, you do rain. All right. I love white noise. I used to go to the bed for the ocean, but I found this new one that I fucking love, but it's also the most insane shit.
Is it 10 hours of women screaming?
It's World War II ambience of being in a bunker, and it's actually you're sitting there, but you just hear gunshots in the background.
Yeah.
It's actually weirdly great white noise, but people all the comments are so great about it. Imagine if you were actually a World War veteran and you see people use this for just comforting ways to go to sleep now.
That is also the whitest thing.
Yeah.
To relax, I pretend there's gunshots outside to go
I
to
pretend
sleep.
like I'm in the greatest war.
Yeah, I listen to mortars going off. That's what I do when I
I'll
go
have
to
to show
bed.
you, dude. It's actually, you guys have to check it out. At least give me
All right.
at
We will.
least try it. Dip your toes. Nice.
No, that was the wrong one. No.
Yeah. Just do all.
So
of
yeah,
them.
this was Sex Monkey Dungeon
Yeah.
with Chris Barrett
Me.
and
Johnny Mocny.
oh yeah, you guys have a good one. I think this is the camera that's still working. The other one's dead. We
Perfect.
love you guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Of course, dude. Thanks for coming.
Anytime. You can come over to my house anytime. You want?
Yeah, you can fuck his wife anytime you want. That's a big part of him letting you be.